Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raider Sport, and today's show, I'm going to be cutting some players that, well, probably weren't going to make the team anyway. So if the NFLPA gets its way, you're going to see the Raiders trim down, and other NFL teams as well, to an 80-man roster. Why is this different? Usually you see the 90-man roster limit, but because of COVID, they're trying to be a little bit more responsible, trying not to have as many bodies at training camp, which is set to start July 28th. So the agreement isn't final, but it appears very, very likely that all NFL teams will have to trim the roster. So what I figured I'd do, hey, make a video about it. So the first guy that I think ends up getting cut here by the Las Vegas Raiders, it's Sam Young. So he agreed to a one-year deal worth $1.05 million. However, none of that contract is guaranteed. Sam has kind of bounced around the NFL here and there. He's an older veteran, and I think when you look at a lot of the other signings and a lot of the other moves that they made in the draft, I don't think that Sam Young is going to end up making the 80-man roster. Let's stick here at the offensive line, where the Raiders do have some pretty solid depth, and I'll say it right now. When fully healthy, the Raiders have the best offensive line in the National Football League. Seymour, though, undrafted free agent out of Rutgers, and he is, in fact, the only Rutgers player from last season to even be in the NFL, if you will. He does have 41 career starts, but I grew up near Rutgers, and Rutgers football at this time, well, it's not very good. And the fact that he's the only player that I couldn't even find an age on, yeah, that kind of goes to show you what we're dealing with here with Kamal Seymour. Sorry, my man, you're going to end up getting cut. So those are two players. I still need 8 more, but if you watch the Raiders Report, you know this is a show for the nation, and I want you to go down in the comments section, and I want you to let me know what y'all have to say. So I want you to name a player that the Raiders should cut to get down to the 80-man roster. Let's go to my man Mariner here, undrafted free agent from Utah State. And I think on a lot of other years, he probably would have made it. Like in 2017, 2018, 2019, would have been a fun player to watch in the preseason. However, no preseason games, and for the first time in a long time, I'll say, the Raiders have too many wide receivers ahead of him. When I look at the depth chart, you're probably looking at the 11th best guy. Yes, he had 10 touchdowns last year with Jordan Love. Yes, he was the best receiver at Utah State. However, I don't think that he's going to be able to get on the field here, and he's not really going to be able to contribute for us on special teams. One player who did have a little bit of contribution to special teams, Anthony Ratliff-Williams, and I know a lot of fans like him, but it's the same situation here for me. Special teams depth player, too many wide receivers ahead of him, and he's probably the 11th, maybe you could even consider him the 12th best guy. When he really had a chance to play for this team, it was a little bit more in the slot. Hunter Renfrow is going to hold it down. Also, you can look at a player like Nelson Aguilar. You could also look at a guy like Keelan Doss. One of the fan favorites last year, Doss, if it was between him or Anthony Ratliff-Williams, I think they would go with Keelan Doss. If it comes down to special teams, you're looking at Nelson Aguilar over Williams. So it has nothing to do with him. Just we address the wide receiver need in free agency and in the draft. Hopefully this video is not too short for you, and hopefully you guys need some new shorts in your life. Go to chatsports.com/Raider Shorts where you can save 25% off. I actually don't have any shorts on right now, but after this video, I promise you, I'm going to go to that link, and I'm going to go in the comments and in the description where you can find it as well. And if you got a special lady in your life, you can also go to chatsports.com/Raider Shorts. They are a limited time. They have been selling quickly. If it doesn't quite have your size, you can always hit me up. We're going to be able to find them out, some more deals for you. These black ones here that you see on screen right now, $25, and they are high-quality shorts. 25% chatsports.com/Raider Shorts. Let's go to William Stanback, and he is a fun running back, and if you watch highlights of him from the CFL, the dude was trucking people. Over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, but you're looking at another situation where the Raiders have a lot of solid players, and probably their best offensive guy in Josh Jacobs. You have your pass-catching running back in Jalen Richard, Lynn Bowden Jr., who they brought in to play Joker, but all last offseason, the Raiders were looking for a big back. The big back that they went out and signed in free agency to bring him back was Rod Smith, 1 year, $905K. When I really think about this team, I think of who can be that big back that just comes in once in a while to either give Josh Jacobs a breather or to pick up a tough 4th and 1. I thought about Rod Smith. I thought about William Stanback. And if you guys are curious about some other roster battles videos that I put out, they are also on the channel. But who do you think's the better running back? Type R for Rod Smith. Type W for William. I am going to type my R because if you guys remember, William does remind me a little bit of a guy named Chris Warren. Chris Warren was such a hype train about 2 years ago, and if you've been a loyal watcher, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're new to the show, hey, we do free daily Raider videos for the nation. So if you're a diehard fan, if you bleed silver and black, if you're looking for content every single day, I promise you're not going to find another Raiders channel on YouTube that's going to keep you more up to date. So hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 50K subs by the end of July. I'm about 500 away. Please help me out. Nick Bowers, you're next up here on the Raiders Report, and it does break my heart a little bit because I am from Pennsylvania, Penn State fan, but he's an undrafted free agent out of PSU, and when you look at Darren Waller, Foster Moreau, Jason Witten, there's just too many bodies ahead of him, and yes, I've seen some reports out there that the Raiders could potentially keep only 3 tight ends. I think they're going to keep probably 4 tight ends if I had to guess. So when I really look at the depth chart from top to bottom, I really don't see him being able to make the final roster. So Paul Butler's a pretty solid option as well. Derek Carrier's a pretty interesting player. But when you look at it from top to bottom, I just don't ultimately think he's going to be able to make the team. Let's now hit you with a question before I tell you which of these guys is going to get cut. Kendall Vickers, type KV, or Mike Panansuk, hopefully I got it right, the UDFA out of Michigan State, type MP. Who do you think is the better defensive tackle, and who would you keep on the roster? Because the other guy that you didn't vote for, he's going to get cut. The guy I'm cutting is Kendall Vickers, and Kendall's a fun player from the CFL. In 12 games, he had 2 sacks. He also had 12 tackles. But when I think about the bottom 2 defensive tackles on the team, I think it's Vickers, and I think it's Panansuk, and I've seen Panansuk play a little bit for Michigan State. He brings a little bit to the table, but I want to see upside. I know that Vickers doesn't have upside. Maybe, just maybe, Panansuk does. So that's why I ended up keeping him over Vickers, who is 25 years old. And yes, he played in the SEC. Yes, he's had some stints in the NFL. But I'm going to go with the unproven UDFA Panansuk over Kendall Vickers. So I'm going to be in Las Vegas July 30th and 31st. I'm also going to be there with the CEO of Chat Sports. So, hey, if you guys want to get together, I want you to hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365 if you know a restaurant I should visit, if you know a place I should go, if you want to just hang out and talk a little bit Raiders, hit me up on IG at Mitchell Renz 365. Dylan Mabin, next up here on the Raiders Report. And remember, this is 80-man roster cut candidates. I got to cut 10 people because of the rules. 2019 UDFA from Fordham, and believe it or not, I've actually watched Dylan Mabin play live, and, well, it's not too awe-inspiring. He was just kind of on the team last year because he had a little bit of depth. Now, you have Isaiah Johnson going to be healthy, Damon Arnett, Prince Amukamara. I think Nevin Lawson's better as well, LaMarcus Joyner. You're just a lot more depth, better pieces. It's not so much a shot at Mabin. It's, well, he just doesn't think he's going to be able to make the team here for the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'll hit you with this deal one more time. Maybe you didn't take advantage of it before. Maybe you were sleeping. Maybe you were making a cup of coffee. I don't know what you were doing. So now you got to do it before before the deal is gone. 25% off. Chatsports.com/RaiderShorts. Go in the comments. Go in the description. If you don't believe me that I don't have a pair of these shorts, well, guess what? I do. You just can't see them. All right, next thing here. Liam McCullough, long snapper. So if you play Madden, you'll know that Trent Sieg is actually not the lowest rated Madden player anymore. He has been bumped up to a 28 overall. I'm not sure what that makes Liam McCullough, though. Undrafted free agent out of Ohio State. To put it simple, it just doesn't make sense to keep 2 long snappers. And when you re-sign your other long snapper to a 1-year, $570K deal, yeah, the word, what is the saying? Something in the pudding? Not quite sure. Let's go to the next guy here. Dominic Eberle. Proof is in the pudding. There we go. Undrafted free agent from Utah State. I've interviewed him. He's a good player. He's already put on apparently 140 pounds. Maybe he's been using Panda Sups. I don't know. But this is another situation where it doesn't make sense to keep 2 kickers. And I know some of y'all don't like Daniel Carlson because he went 19-26 last year. But I know the Raiders have a lot of confidence in him. Remember in 2018 when he came over from the Vikings, he was 18 of 19. I think they're going to keep the guy that they've seen before. So Daniel Carlson over Dominic Eberle. So shout out to the nation that made it this far in the video. I am going to leave. It is Friday. Going to get my weekend started. Apparently it's National Tequila Day. So hey, if you want to see some radical things, y'all know where to find me. But if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. If you haven't yet liked it, hit that subscribe button and comment 80. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.